Hello, people. This is Hitman Von Doom, and this is going to be a nice comic book reviews and update to my contest. Now, I actually wanted to do this video live, but Google Plus wanted to be a piece of crap, and it didn't want to broadcast or start up. It was up to 99%, and it didn't even want to start the broadcast, which pissed me off. I mean, because honestly, before Google Plus made all the changes, everything was working fine. Everything was working fine. I didn't have any problems broadcasting. I didn't have any problems watching live videos. But ever since they made the change, apparently now I can't even do a live hangout or live broadcast anymore, and I can't. I can barely even watch any other live broadcasts now because it skips. I mean, and it's like it has never used to happen, like ever before, but until Google Plus changed their stuff. So that sucks. But anyway, on to the comics reviews. So let's see. And these are going to be very old books, by the way, because I haven't been able to make a video in a while since I had a couple family members over for about a week and a half. And, with all the background noise and stuff, it's really difficult to make a video and get time to yourself. And also, I was also enjoying myself too, playing video games, doing lots of activities with them. So, yeah, I was also enjoying myself. So I got Supergirl number 20. And the reason I got this was because it looked like an interesting thing with Power Girl and Supergirl. It's a Supergirl in another reality, pretty much. It looked interesting, and it was a very, fun book. I loved the interactions between, an older version of Kara and a younger version of Kara. I love the interactions between the two. He had some good stuff here. Like when Supergirl calls her old, and she's like, old. I mean, older. So it was pretty fun to see the interactions. I really love the interactions, and especially when you have the computer in the background trying to kill one of them because he thinks one of them's a clone. So that was a fun read. I will say this, and I really do love this. The last panel, which is this right here, the sunset, is really nice. But it was good, but it wasn't good enough for me to check out the other issue. I don't read Supergirl or Power Girl or World Finest. I picked up that issue, but again, it wasn't enough. And this one, whereas it was entertaining, it was good. It was not for someone who was just jumping on, and picked up this issue. It wasn't enough for me to go, I want to check out the next issue. I really want to see what's gonna. It wasn't enough for me to do that. So it was good, but I won't be picking up another issue. So like I said, the interaction between the two characters was fantastic. The artwork's pretty decent. But that's really all I can say about it. So Supergirl number 20. I also picked up, and this is really old, Batman and Robin number 20, because folks, I don't have a big extensive pull list like everyone else does. I mean, I don't have a gigantic pull list because, again, college student, and I also like back issues as well. So, anyway, Batman and the Red Hood. Now, I wasn't as blown away by this as I was with Batman number 19 with Frankenstein. I was not blown away by this. I was like, it is good, but it's not. It definitely was not as good as the last two issues. I mean, I just got to say that right off the bat. And this one's about what Batman and Red Hood. Red Hood finally recovered, and they're finally on the same page. Like Red Hood's finally, trusting Batman. They're on the same page because he was kind of like the outcast, and they're finally on the same page. But they beat up these criminals. Good times beating up criminals. He's shooting people in the leg because he uses guns. So they're having a good time. They're fighting these criminals, taking revenge, and you can know Batman's still feeling the effects from Damian's death, and he's taking it out on these thugs and these criminals, and you can tell. I mean, he's doing things that he never normally would never do. And in the end, they get into this huge fight because Batman takes, whatchamacallit, Red Hood to the place where Joker beat him with a crowbar. Oh, God. I'm a terrible person for smiling. I can never read that without a straight face. But yeah, he takes him to that spot, and and he pretty much tells them, he's pretty much doing this so to make him remember, so see if he can bring back Damian somehow. And of course, Red Hood doesn't like that. And they get into this huge fight, and and of course, Red Hood ends up leaving and pretty much erasing his memory as you find out in Red Hood and the Outlaw. And that's the part that I really didn't like. It's like, It's just really out of character. I mean, I know he's in, Badminton in incredible grief, but the fact is, it's not just the fact that they fought, because it's not just the fact that, oh, well, maybe you could jog your memory. It's the fact that, Badman was actually kind of egging him on. Come on, hit me, take me out. I taught you better than that. I'm still standing. And that's the part I didn't like. It's just really out of character for Batman to just antagonize someone that used to be Robin. It was, that's one of the parts I didn't like. I mean, he was actively antagonizing the Red Hood, and you work, and it's like you worked so hard for him. You cared about him. You worked so hard to get back his trust, and you just, like, literally, as Red Hood said, you just threw it all away. And that's what he does, and it's just so out of character. Why he's actually actively antagonizing him, and that's the part that I didn't like. It was like, really. In addition, and then when you think about it too, it's like, wait a minute, he died there, yes, but why would he have any memory of anything if he died there? I mean, because technically, didn't Talia put him in a Lazarus pit and he came back to life? Wouldn't you make more sense to take him to take him to see Talia or someone else? Well, because if he died there, he has no memory he has no memory of it until he was, and he has no memory of anything until he woke up. So why, it just didn't make any sense. I mean, I understand he's going to grief, but still. So that's the part. That's why it wasn't that, for me personally. This wasn't as good as the other issues. So, but yeah, Batman and Robin number 20. Also, got Batgirl number 20. Which, again, if you haven't been reading Batgirl, I encourage you to pick it up. And this is the take on the ventriloquist. Blech. Which, admittedly, I've never read anything about the ventriloquist. I didn't even know I had some idea, but I had no idea. But, I really never read anything. And I enjoyed this issue. I enjoyed it because you see Batgirl kind of going through what she did in the previous issue, which she killed her brother. Well, killed her brother. Yeah, Power Glove, see? Oh, yeah. But, yeah, she killed her brother in it. And, if you've been watching, and I like how she was feeling the effects. It wasn't like, oh, I killed my brother, time for the next adventure. She was feeling it. She felt so guilty. She goes and cuts off, like, the bat thing and her bat insignia. And she feels bad. She's, like, crying. She feels that effect. It's not like, okay, he's dead, let's move on. It's something, because that actually was her brother, and you feel that in that issue, so I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoy what they're setting up, because you go from brother versus sister to father versus daughter, and that's just really, really interesting, just the dynamic, because you could tell he's upset with Batgirl, and because Batgirl, according to him, killed his son, and he's like, he wants to find her, and he wants to, arrest her. And he wants to arrest her. Sorry, I thought someone was coming, but he wants to arrest her and everything, and that sets up for future issues. An interesting dynamic, because now I kind of want to see Barbara Gordon without a costume interaction with a father, and I kind of want to see all that now. So that's the one thing this issue was missing, and he had an interesting take on the character of the ventriloquist. Very interesting, a very interesting background too. I saw as well. And what else was there? And the only, you had some really good battle between those two of them as well. But the one thing I'll say, the artwork, there was two people doing the artwork on this, and it showed. Because one issue, I mean, let's see. Oh, bloody hell, open up. I mean, it just really showed. I mean, and I didn't care for the other artists, to be quite honest. I mean, I thought that the art that just made the art really inconsistent. And I didn't like it. I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, it's just like, where's that page? It just really kind of took me a little bit. I mean, how do you go from some really badass thing like this right here to, where's the battle scene? Something really badass like that to this. I didn't, it's just the artwork. I didn't care for the other artist on the book. I mean, I just like that. That was the only thing that I didn't like about this book, but otherwise, it was pretty damn good. So yeah. And there was also Ninja Turtles number 22. I got cover B. I pulled this. Sometimes they give me cover B. But I like cover B. But this, if you're not picking up Ninja Turtles, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, this is a $3.99 book, but it's better than $3.99 books that pretty much better than most $3.99 books that Marvel's releasing. And it's monthly, too. And it's such, oh my god, it was so good. I think the artist who was doing the artist who did the origin of Shredder essentially is the same artist here, which is a good thing, and it was really fantastic. Great characterization, good artwork, good action, good storytelling altogether. I didn't pick up the last issue of Ninja Turtles because I knew it was going to be a filler issue, and I picked up this issue because it was the start of a new arc, and I wanted to see, if I was going to be worth picking up the rest of the story, and it is. It really is. This starts out with Casey visiting his father, and he didn't forget about his father, just seeing him drink, and just that plot thread alone is like, oh, so they remember that. It's really emotional, and then suddenly these two get jumped by the Foot Clan. You get this really good battle where they kidnap Casey, and of course, it's so interesting that was part of the plan. Raphael was so emotional, that he comes right after them. He's like, okay, that's it. He's pleading with his brothers. We got to go help him. And of course, it's a trap. But Raphael's such a hothead that it's not gonna matter to them. And so they kind of come up with a sort of half-assed plan, so to speak, to rescue him. And they're waiting in the shadows, and Shredder just he knows they're there, and he's like, okay, that's it. He's like, here's how we're gonna get him to come out and actually fight. Here's how we're gonna do this. And Shredder does this. In order to get him, he stabs Casey like really deep too. And I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, holy crap. I was like, oh man, he means business. And of course, it's a trap. And Raphael was like, that's it, I'm gonna kill him. And he goes on this hulking rampage, like which is so cool. And then Leonardo pretty much gets jumped by two people. And of course, since they're turtles, two of them come from the water and rescue Casey. And they're like, we gotta retreat. We can't keep this. We gotta retreat. He needs help. And little did we know that Alpalek and Karai, pretty much kidnap Leonardo instead. And when he gets to the van, he realized, oh my god, he's missing. He's missing. And they're like, we can't go back. He needs medical, but Casey needs medical attention. And so that's how the story ends. And it's like, oh my god. And I can tell, an issue, a comic book is good when you keep think about it afterward and you can't get it out of your head and you want to read it again. That's how I knew this was good. But, oh my god, it was such a good issue. And, and if you read issue number, I think, 12 or 14, where they had that all-out fight with the Foot Clan, you knew that Shredder was planning to recruit Leonardo to begin with. So, Burst definitely picked that up. And we also got Scarlet Spider number 16. Now, folks, this is a filler issue. I will say, I love the cover of this, but this is a filler issue in every sense of the word. But the one thing I tell you, I figure about Yost, he's very, very efficient. I think I said this before. He's very efficient, meaning that it's like everything has a purpose. Every issue and every page and panel has like a purpose for something, and this served a purpose. I mean, it created more plot, and it advanced the plot, and it laid more seeds for more things. I didn't care too much for the photoshopped crowds, though. Like in a rodeo, I didn't care too much for the photoshopped crowds, but other than that, I really enjoyed the issue. I mean, first you get like some pretty good stuff with his secondary characters. Him and Annabelle actually start dating because he kind of says something really, he's completely oblivious, which I kind of am too. But when girls hit on me, let's just go back to this way. If a girl's hitting me, I'm not gonna know. I'm incredibly oblivious, and it's happened before. Like my mother, apparently one of the waitresses was hitting on me, and my mother was like, "What the hell? What is wrong with you? You didn't do anything." We didn't say anything. Like, why would I say? She's like, she was hitting on you. Like, what? Really? And some of my friends say that too, and I was like, I never noticed. But it was the same thing here. He managed to inadvertently hurt her feeling that but they get together in the end. And I really loved like the contrast between you have like this heartbroken guy, this really heartbroken guy who lost his fiance, and it's just a nice contrast between Kane and them because he considers both of them monsters, but in the end, this guy he gets his fiance back. He gets his fiance back, and I think that was kind of a turning point for Kane. He was like, if this guy can get his girl back, there's no reason I can't have some happiness. And so he kisses Annabelle, and they start a relationship, and that was a nice contrast. And then, of course, at the end, you get Craven the Hunter and his daughter, which is like, oh my god, can't wait for that. Really, really can't. And at the same time, also, Annabelle gets this letter where, with this villain where Julia Carpenter, Scarlet Webb's gonna, Madam Web, is gonna warning her about something, and she ends up burning it. And she knows who it's for, but she burned it, and that just raises so many questions. Like, oh my god, what is this about? Is she a spy? Is she really out to get Scarlet Spider, or is she really desperate, or what's going on there? So that just raises some more questions, and I've been reading it since the first issue, and I know he has plans for that. He'll probably lay hints and hints there, like he's been doing in here. He lays hints, and it pays off in the end, and he leaves it somewhere down the road, and he comes back to it. So that's very interesting. So I enjoyed this issue. Definitely a filler issue, but it served a purpose. And then we go to Scarlet Spider number 17. Cannot say how much I enjoyed this issue. Another one where I just wanted to read it again, and I kept thinking about it afterwards. That's why I knew it was good. Scarlet, this is where you remember way back when the Assassin's Guild was asking for the favor. Told you it comes back in here, and I love the change of artwork for. I love the change. I mean, Fam was decent, but a lot of times it looked rushed. This, I think it's Barberi who does the pencils. I mean, it really shows. It makes such a difference and fits really well with the book. And I loved everything about this. I mean, I love the way he was interacting with the Assassin's Guild, the way you should. He mangled a guy's arms, and he's like, you know what? He's like, I like your arms, I like your hands mangled better. And he just stabs him again with his spider stinger. It's just hilarious. Like, that's the way you should interact with a group like that. And then when he finds out that he's going against Wolverine, he's like, oh god, this is gonna be interesting. And then you get this really great interaction between him and Araceli, one of the secondary characters. And I love the relationship they have in the book. The way they have it in the book is that they kind of have like this brother sister sibling relationship. Like, he's the older brother and she's the younger sister, and I love that dynamic because Scarlet Spider is so serious and she's like so lighthearted and innocent that it just makes such funny dialogue and an interesting contrast. And the good thing I like about Araceli is that she isn't helpless. You start seeing in these issues, you keep seeing more and more what she's able to do. And she creates this costume that they have really funny dialogue with, and she actually, manages to, scare what's the guy's name? Is it Toad? Is it Toad, the guy with the long tongue in the X-Men? I don't know, I haven't read anything about him in a while. But she actually scares him and manages to come up with a huge frenzy in that school, and she managed to even damage and start hurting Rachel Gray, a really powerful telepath. That just shows that she may seem innocent, but she's powerful, but she doesn't remember anything either, and it's just such a great character, very interesting, and it raises even more questions. Like, okay, we're gonna have to find. He's laying bits and pieces for her, but not revealing everything. And like I said, I love the dynamic. And then you get this all-out battle with Scarlet Spider and some members of the X-Men. He fights Beast, Iceman, and Wolverine, and it's just such a great battle. Oh my god. It's a really great battle. I love the battle between him and Wolverine because you got one savage animal and one monster. And in the end, of course, he sticks him and rips his heart in two, but Wolverine's going to get back up. And you also know that the Assassin's Guild is going to betray him because you have someone watching from a distance, and you know that they're going to betray him. And the way this always goes is that they always fight, and then they always team up in the end with all these team-ups, but it's predictable. That's predictable, but it's very well done. And I definitely pick this one up if you haven't been picking it up. If you want your anti-hero, the Spider-Man related anti-hero, Scarlet Spider is the one you should go with. I don't read Superior Spider-Man because, come on, let's say I don't really care too much about Superior Spider-Man. I do love this though. God, it's just so good. Such a great battle. Really funny and great dialogue and characterization in this. And last but not least, X-Men #1. I was looking forward to this issue, but at the same time, I didn't have high expectations for this issue. I mean, I literally did not have high expectations. I mean, #1 issues are rarely, if ever, any good. I mean, but this was okay for a #1 issue. I'll probably stick around for the first story arc and see where it's gonna go, and see where it's gonna go and whether I want to be on that ride. So I'm probably gonna go through the first story arc and see what's up, what's gonna happen with that. But ultimately, the artwork's pretty decent. I especially like how they never mentioned it's an all-female team. They're X-Men, not an all-female X-Men team. They're just X-Men. They're a group of people that just happen to respond to a crisis together, and it's never mentioned, and they just happen to be all female. So I like that especially, and I liked all the characters. I liked how each of the character acted they acted in character. None of them, nobody without a character. Jubilee was her, what you would expect her to act like. Storm, Rogue, each of them acted in character. Although I would have loved to see more interaction with Psylocke, and more something a little more with Psylocke. But I understand it's a lot of characters to juggle. But they had their moments. I mean, she had her powerful moment when she pulled the train over, and Rachel Gray had her moment defending that guy, and Kitty Pryde had her little moment too. They each had some of their moments, and they worked well as a team together. But when you really think about it, though, nothing really happened. Nothing really big happened in this, which obviously is the number one issue. So nothing really big happened, and you get this interesting thread where Jubilee has like a baby, and that's what this might probably center around. What's the mystery of this baby? What's gonna happen? So that's what it's centering around. And so this was an okay issue. I'll say it. It was an okay issue. Definitely something that I would say if you see this, if you don't know what to buy and you see this, I probably would say I wouldn't. I personally, if I knew what was in here and what was in, I probably mostly would not pick it up. So if you're in a comic book store and you don't know what to pick up, I probably would not recommend picking this up. You know, I would not recommend picking at least this issue up. What to get? I'd recommend picking up Scarlet Spider or the Ninja Turtles. But rather than this, because this was just okay, but I'll give it a pass because it's a number one issue and they're just still laying the groundwork. So I'll give it a pass and stay around for the first story arc and see where it's gonna go. So now that we got these reviews out of the way, it's time to say a few updates for my contest. And well, my contest video is I posted that up and it's gonna end. And I didn't do an end date, so I'm looking at my calendar on this phone, and let's say it's gonna end on it's gonna end, yeah, this would be a good way to end it. It's gonna end June 30th at 12 a.m. It's gonna end June 30th at 11:59 p.m. That seems like a good way to end it, because June 30th, it's the end of the month, it's on a Sunday, and I think that's going to be the perfect day to end it. So log this in your head. It's going to end on June 30th, okay? And later on in the week, and sometime that week, I'll post a video revealing the winners. And so yeah, June 30th by 11:59 p.m. If you don't have a video up there, you're out. I do it like this because I don't have a ton of rules. And so yeah, and so what I'll probably do is, I'll probably make a reminder video that Friday before, to reminding everybody my content is up. Now's your chance to make a video and leave a comment why you hate the person or whatever, why you hate this guy, why you hate who's your most hated character and why. And I'll make a video about that, my content, and telling you what to do again, beforehand, before the expiration date. And I think it's really good to end this on this day too, because I'll be working 12 hours Saturday and Sunday. And so I'll probably come back on Monday and see everything again. And just see, add up all the entries and everybody who has +2 and +1 entry. Because the way I do it is video responses are 2 entries. One, comment, if you commenting commenting about who you hate and why on the video, the contest video is 1 entry. That's the way I do this, and the reason I do this is because I know not everyone can make a video response. I mean, hell, I didn't make a video for I think it's like almost 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks since that contest video, because like I said, I had a couple family members here, and it's really difficult to make a video, especially when you're hanging out with them and having fun with them. And I understand there's a lot of people who have family and have children, and some of them, who have children, and it's really difficult to make a video, and they want to spend time with them and enjoy them, like I wanted to do with the family members that were staying with me. I mean, I wanted to spend time with them, and admittedly, I didn't get to watch a lot of videos, and I didn't get to post really anything, but you know, family is always first. And I enjoy them because I don't, like I said, I don't get to see my family a lot. I mean, I get to see my little brother, my mother once every month, if that. And when I say once every month, they always come on the weekend. I get up, I work 12 hours, come home, I'm really tired. I see them for about an hour or two. Then I go to bed, go to bed. I get up in the morning before any of them are awake. And when I come home, they're gone. So, you know, I really only see them like 2 hours every month. So, you know, I don't get to see them that often, and I understand that. And I understand why people can't do videos and make video responses. But back to the contest it's really easy, folks. I mean, I'll post a link about the contest below. And like I said, if you want one entry, just leave a comment saying who you hate and why. And like I said, it could be for any reason. And if you want 2 entries, make a video response as well. And now the one thing I'm not going to do, if you make a video response and a comment about who you hate, you're not going to get +3. Don't be that sneaky. So yeah, that's kind of an update. It's going to end on June 30th. Remember that, 11:59 p.m. it will end. I will post a reminder that Friday. And also, as well, people, you can enter. Almost anyone's ready to enter. You have to be a little over 18. You have to be at least 18 and up, because I don't want to have to deal with the bureaucracy of parents. You know, I don't want to have to deal with that unless your parent comes. Unless your parent, it kind of goes on a video a little bit and says, "I give you permission" in the background, and bam, then okay, that's simple. But then okay, then I'll let you in the contest. But that's the way I got to do it, I guess. I mean, cause like I don't want to have to deal with the bureaucracy pretty much. But yeah, I mean, it's really that easy. And like I said, a lot of people are welcome. Old subscribers, welcome. New subscribers are welcome as well. I mean, I'm not gonna be that guy that's like, oh, old subscriber, you subscribe to me, you can't, I'm not gonna be that guy. I mean, because I'm really not that guy. Not unless I go into my full sociopath depressed mode. Then, when I go into that mode, you don't want to be around me because, oh man, that guy is an asshole. That guy is an asshole, to be quite honest. And that's why I try to keep that guy really buried and only take it out when I need to. But that version of me is a complete asshole. So yeah. But I'm not that guy. So yeah, everybody's welcome. And again, you don't have to ask permission for me to enter too, because I got a nice email, a few PMs about people asking if it was okay to enter my contest, and I was just like, don't get me wrong, it's flattering because it's just the respect alone to do that. It's just very respectful, and it's very flattering that they have that much respect to do that. But you don't have to ask permission to enter at all, unless you're like 18 and you need a parent's permission too. But you don't have to ask my permission to enter. You're not gonna offend me unless you go on some "I hate this character" and then you say some racist rant about why. Then that'll offend me. But you're not gonna offend me if you enter the contest. You're welcome. You don't have to email me or need my permission. Just go for it. Go for the gusto. And so yeah, that's the update. And a little update about my life too, because my videos are probably not going to be as funny and fancy as the last few, because I'm back in school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I work 12 hours Saturday and work 12 hours on Saturday, work 12 hours on Sunday, go to school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's not a lot of time. I will try to film hopefully the end of the second part of my epic moments in comic books. The second part, I'll try to film that hopefully. But I haven't filmed it because I had family members over, and she was also out of state as well. I don't know if she's in state now or if she's still out of state, so we'll see. But I'll try to get that up too. So everyone, thanks for watching.